I realized that I am somebody who has a really hard time allowing people to see me for who I am because I don't see myself in my entirety. It's so funny because I so badly want to be seen. I want visibility. And yet at the same time, I don't truly see myself. And it's okay. I'm in the process of learning how and doing it, and I can only improve from here. And so there's really no point in shaming myself. And when I think about why did I never learn how to see myself, it's because I was never taught. I didn't have people around me who truly saw themselves. So I had no examples. So now I'm doing it as an adult, and I find myself being really angry and resentful for having to do all of this fucking self-care work and healing of generational traumas. And it pisses me off, honestly. I learned that it's not a load that I can carry a while back, but it's something that, like, for my personality, whatever that trait is, I don't even know. I can't look away from it. I can't not do the hard work when it comes up. Like, most recently, I had some emotions bubble to the surface, a lot about repressed anger, using this deep dissatisfaction that I would feel about life as a way to fuel this repressed anger that was deep within me. And it was visible that I was angry, but I was not ever actually allowing myself to feel angry about what I was angry about. And I was so uncomfortable. Like, I woke up this day just so uncomfortable because repressed anger is not a comfortable thing to have in the body. And when it comes up, it's like, I felt like I was crawling out of my skin. I wanted to peel my skin off. And in the process of not letting myself fall back into old patterns, the anger came up, I dealt with it, and I moved on. And it's like, when things present themselves to me, when little traumas or little things to heal present themselves to me, I've done this long enough now to know what I need to do to move that energy, to move that emotion, to like break that cycle. It feels like I have no other option than to do this work. Like, if I didn't do the hard work of healing myself and like regulating myself so that I wasn't living in survival mode anymore, I wouldn't be here. I don't think I would have survived this long. Yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought on that, and I can't really remember what I was talking about, but I've been doing The Artist's Way, a book by Julia Cameron. It's a 12-week creative transformation book. Every day you longhand write 3 pages in a journal. These are called your morning pages. And then every week you go on an artist date. It's just a way to reconnect with your creativity. And it's really nice. So far it's been nice. I'm on week 4, and it's so far the hardest week. Week 4 is a media deprivation week. So in the original version of the book, it's reading deprivation, but that was in the 90s when there wasn't like internet and social media, and it's really just aimed at blocking out all of the distractions and all of the other voices of everybody's thoughts and ideas about how the world should be and what the world should look like and what you should look like and what your creativity should look like. And it's just the noise. I think we can all agree that social media and even me talking right now is just noise in the void. And sometimes it's nice to get lost in that noisy little void, and it can become escapism, right? Like, we are not facing our fears and doing things that we set out to do and reaching our goals because we're lost in the noise, lacking focus, lacking direction. You know what I'm saying? And the noise of the void can be a really convenient place to like self-sabotage and to not doing the things that you want to do with your life. And so part of this book is like a lot of shadow work, a lot of journaling, a lot of prompts and essays and exercises that you work through each week. And it gets to the heart of these fears. Like, week 3 was a lot about childhood stuff. So reconnecting with the child you. And the inner child for me just held a lot of that trauma. And so a lot about visibility is what I've been working on. Like, truthfully, I don't have a hard time making the things. I'm a jeweler, I'm a painter, I'm a ceramicist, I'm a lot of different things. And I love to make physical objects. And I've been called to make these videos for a few years now, but the fear of being seen has been so challenging for me to overcome that I just don't post anything. Like, I've recorded hours and hours and hours of video that I can't bring myself to edit because I have to look at myself and listen to myself talk. And I think that I'm so cringe and gross and just that I never actually finish the task. I get about halfway through editing and then I just hate everything that I'm saying, and you can see it and hear it in like how I'm speaking, that I'm not exactly saying what I want to say because I'm afraid of what people are going to think of me, or somebody else is in the house while I'm recording and I feel insecure about them hearing my unfiltered thoughts. And I don't know, just like a lot of things that are holding me back from just posting. Like, I'm not necessarily saying that these videos are going to be, I'm not going to necessarily be the next huge YouTuber who's making millions of dollars and living in a mansion. It's just about sharing my thoughts and sharing my energy with the world and seeing myself. Because through this process of just even recording myself, I'm holding space for me to relay some kind of message. So I'm getting better at that. I'm getting better at sitting alone in a space and speaking to a camera. But it's the editing. It's the witnessing myself in action. And that is where I'm going to overcome, at least begin to overcome this with this video. I'm going to try and keep it kind of short. I'm going to keep it kind of small. Like, we're just going to make it simple so it's not hours and hours of editing. We're going to try and keep this to like an hour of editing max so that I can hold space and begin to witness myself. Because I think I said earlier in this video that you can't really like be visible to others until you are visible to yourself. And I'm doing this for the first time ever. I'm truly allowing my true authentic self to show up on camera, and now I'm going to witness it. And even if I'm uncomfortable, I have to finish it. Even if I'm uncomfortable, I have to get used to seeing myself, because the more I do it, the more I'll be okay with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm noticing that a lot of stuff now in my journey is not so much about healing the trauma anymore. I feel like I've been there, done that. Like, anything that needs to come up will get dealt with. But the little things that get in my way are just like, are developed through repetition and through practice. And it pisses me off that I can't take a pill or do a session of EMDR and be healed and just be super social and have a ton of friends and have a really strong community. I actually have to like work at that again, you know? And I think about younger Sabina and how she really didn't have a hard time making friends. We moved around a lot. My family moved around like a ton. Every few years we were moving to a different state. And that instability over time wore me out and kind of broke me down. And the last place that we moved to before I moved away to college, the last place we moved to as a family, I was bullied right off the bat from getting there by honestly mean girls, mean, hateful girls who are probably abused at their own home. Because how could you be such a mean, hateful little girl without something else going on? I don't feel like you're born a mean-spirited little girl. Anyway, I've moved on from being 11. We've healed that too. And ever since then, I just felt like it was easier to retreat. Also, like middle school, high school was when we moved to this town, and that was also when like the abuse in my home was probably the worst. So I made this at home. It has too much matcha in it, so I topped it off with a little more milk. But it's still got that green leaf flavor. I'll try again tomorrow. I rant about doing the work all the time, and I just can't stop. And I keep losing my train of thought because I get into these flow states while I'm talking. And I don't know where I left off. I'm currently watching my in-laws ride horses and exercise their other horses. I have 7 horses. They're living the dream, like really. It's so nice. And their horses are like nice and cute and they let me pet them. So it's a good time. It's a really good time. But I can see out this window that I'm sitting in front of them exercising their equine, you know? And it's distracting. Anyway, back to the artist's way. I'm on week 4, media deprivation, which includes no social media, which is fine. I have no desire to look at TikTok or Instagram. I opened TikTok for 1 minute today and it felt horrible. It's so hard not to touch my cell phone. No social media, no podcasts, no audiobooks, no reading, no like news, nothing that is anybody else's ideas outside of you, basically, like feeding into your brain. Because how many countless hours of bullshit do we listen to every single day when we're just on our phones 24/7? I know I do. I wake up looking at that bitch. I fall asleep looking at that bitch. Like, I love my phone so much, honestly. And there's even part of me that loves being chronically online. Like, it is a fun little world that I live in, and I have so many funny little sound bites and clips living inside of my noodle, and it's just a good time, and I'm constantly entertained by it, and I love it. But I don't love the way that scrolling through TikTok makes my brain feel like scrambled eggs. I don't like that. The hard part for me is noticing how often I pick up my freaking phone and how I just am looking for any excuse just to rub her little screen and give her a little massage and just look at something. Like, I've done some serious online shopping where you like pick out all the items and put them in your cart and then you just close the tab. You know, I've done so much of that in the last 2 days. It's ridiculous. What am I doing? Yesterday was day 1 of doing it. I felt amazing. I felt so good. I was like, I'm free. I've never felt better. I'm never going back to my cell phone. This is awesome. I got so many random things done that I would not have done if I was just looking at my phone, you know? And it felt great. I was like, great, can't wait to see how much I accomplished this week. I woke up today pissed off. I woke up today so mad because I just kept looking at my phone. Oh no, what can I look at? Deleted all of my emails that were just junk mail, basically. Rearranged the widgets on my home screen. Did a little online shopping. Didn't buy anything. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm pissed that this is the habit that I've created. That I've been so checked out from my life. For how long? I don't even know. Because I start my day looking at TikTok. Because I start my day doing these kind of things that are not, well, things that end up becoming escapism. And things that I just feel really checked out. Like, I've had linear thoughts for the past 2 days. I've been able to like follow through on stuff. Whereas before, my brain's just constantly flipping to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing. And I can't keep any of my thoughts in my head. Like, the ADHD symptoms feel 100% worse when I'm constantly looking at my cell phone. I'm not even a scientist. I'm not even a Stanford researcher or professor. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even somebody who knows anything, but I've witnessed and experienced in my own life being off my phone for 2 days and then having linear thoughts all of a sudden. Concentration, focus, follow through. You know what I'm saying? Not a coincidence. Not a coincidence. And it has me wondering, am I even going to go back? What's day 3 going to feel like? Because today I want to eat my own eyeballs. I want to SpongeBob SquarePants style pop off my arm and just eat it. Regenerate another one, pop it off, eat it again. You know what I'm saying? If you know, you know. I feel like those of us who are chronically online were also SpongeBob kids. My husband, not a SpongeBob kid. He was an outside kid. He went outside and played as a kid. I was an inside kid. I still am an inside kid. I like being inside. I like being outside too, don't get me wrong. I do like sunshine. I do like water. River, love me some river time. But I also love sitting inside right now. Sitting inside my in-laws' pool room. They got some dead animals because it's Colorado. Also, why do my arms look so good? I haven't been training or doing anything. It's the angle. Maybe my arms don't look good and I'm delusional. That's okay though. What is it about existing that makes me hate myself? It's like everything I say is kind of cringe. And today's just one of those days where I'm beating myself up for just sheerly existing. Every time I speak, there's a little voice inside my head that's like, I hate myself, I hate myself, I hate myself. And it's like a lashing whip. I think it's shame. But God, I hate it. Oh, I hate it. I hate it more than I hate myself, because I don't actually hate myself. But there's a voice inside my head that tells me that I do. And it hurts. It's not very nice. I kind of filmed everything in the wrong format today, so that's my bad. It's day 3 of media deprivation, and things are starting to level out. I'm not so angry anymore. This is the day that I noticed that I'm still kind of finding ways to waste time. This is the day that I spent a very long time researching about different kinds of knitting needles. Because I am, in fact, a knitter. I'm knitting things. I knit a sweater, and I'm working on a pair of socks and another sweater at the same time. And I have a set of wooden knitting needles, but I really want a set of metal knitting needles. And so I was just trying to find the best one. And that took hours because I was definitely trying to find ways to spend time on my phone. But yeah, I filmed everything today in the wrong format, and it's fine. Here it is iPhone style. Here we are hot dog style. While I've been staying in Colorado, my cat has been living at the barn, so I didn't have to have anybody go and take care of him because we've been gone for a minute. And he loves it, you guys. He loves being in a little outside kitty. I think he's been raised inside pretty much his entire life, and if I'm being honest, he hardly leaves the barn. Without a doubt, at almost any time of day, you can find him sleeping between hay bales. And at night, he just goes and he sits on the freaking driveway. He's so cute. He just loves it. He likes knowing that he can leave at any time and then staying because he loves me and he loves comfort. And if there's a steady supply of food, he's gonna love just to be there. And I enjoy messing with him because he's kind of annoying sometimes. So I like to dance with him and pick him up and spin him around. And he always yells at me a whole bunch, but he just kind of tolerates it. And I just love him so much. He is just my little baby. I love him. Like, just bask in his glory for a little while. Look at his legs. He looks ridiculous. I love it. I can't. Look at his little legs and the way they just stick out. I think people get sick of how much I talk about my cat, but guys, just look at him. He's so handsome. Husband and I went and rode bikes today, and that was fun. It's finally fall, and you can feel it in the air. It's so nice outside, but it's still kind of warm, but it's still kind of cool at the same time. I love it. We went to a trail that had an overlook over the Arkansas River, and isn't she so beautiful? I'm feeling very not good today. I'm sitting in the Home Depot parking lot waiting for my husband to get back. I'm guarding our bikes because we just went on a bike ride, and I just woke up feeling yucky. My period's in 5 days. I think that's partly it. I don't know, man. Just doing a lot of transformation, doing a lot of changes in my life, and the growth is uncomfortable, and I keep pulling the 9 of Swords and the 10 of Wands. This is the 3rd day in a row I've pulled those cards for my daily tarot card pull, and I feel it because there's this voice inside my head that is very shaming, and it's usually a younger version of me, and it's usually a version of myself that I've created to maintain safety. And it's served a purpose for a period of time, but it no longer serves a purpose. And dismantling that voice has been very challenging. And specifically as of lately, it's been a lot about creating community and having community. And it's just something that I've always really struggled with. I've never had really like a big group of close friends. And especially in my adult life, I don't have a very like close-knit group of friends, and I can only think that that's my fault because I don't leave my house and I don't actively seek community. And when I do try and see community, I leave the house and talk to people in public, or like even just talking to my in-laws, there's this lashing whip of shame that plays in my head. Like, I hate myself. I shouldn't have said all that. I need to stop talking. I need to be quiet. Why did I do that? Like, the other day I went to Natural Grocers and I signed up for rewards. Like, I put my phone number in and my email in, and it took a couple minutes, and there was a line of people waiting to check out after I was done, and I felt so ashamed because I should just have not done that. I should not have signed up for rewards so that other people could go through line faster. I'm holding up people. It's so rude of me, so inconsiderate of me, and that is just, and it's just not true. It's just simply not true. Sorry for this angle. It's not the most flattering. I keep looking at myself too, because I'm doing front-facing camera, and I keep looking over my shoulder so I can make sure that the bikes are still there. But I don't really feel like holding my phone up high so that all of the patrons of Home Depot can see that I'm talking to my phone. I just simply don't want to do it. I'm still embarrassed to film in public. It's fine. We're getting there. Holy cow, this is the biggest truck I've ever seen. The new Fords are so big. You need a ladder to get out of that thing. Anyway, it's just that lashing whip of shame every time I really try and step out of my comfort zone. And it's the tightening, it's the recoiling, it's the, I don't know exactly like the vocab to use for it, but it's like, okay, so you set an intention and you decide, I'm gonna show up as this person and change my reality, change how I perceive myself and perceive the world. And then I notice that, like, when my nervous system and my brain are not on the same page, this tension arises and this shame voice appears, and I regress back to where I once was, because it's so painful to be lashed with the whip of shame every minute of every day than to be alone, you know, and isolate myself. But I know that the self-isolation and the being alone is hurting me more in the long run. Like, I'm too young to be this alone and to be this communityless. I don't think any age is acceptable to be very alone. Okay, I've been thinking about it, and I really think that that thing that we learned about at one point, where, like, in olden times, women were ostracized from the community when they were on their periods and forced to, like, leave society, and how that's so bad and terrible. But I actually think that it might not have been such a bad thing. Like, did the men actually force the women to go to the outskirts of society, or did the women choose it? Because I'm 5 days out from starting mine, and I want everybody to not talk to me. Like, I love my husband to pieces, but just the look of him is making me sick, and I know that it's because of my period and has nothing to do with him, because he's lovely and kind and wonderful. But Jesus Christ, I really wouldn't mind going off to an oasis and being by myself for the next week and a half. Sounds pretty freaking nice, to be honest. No men, nobody to answer to, nobody to try and help, nobody that you have to do anything for, you know what I'm saying? Sounds nice to me. It is 70s night at the in-laws' house. Every once in a while they put these parties together where we basically sing karaoke and pick a decade and put a costume on and sing songs from that decade. And tonight is 70s night. I'm getting a little bit of work done before going and getting ready for that. So yeah, I'll show you guys that process too. My outfit is going to be very much like figuring out what I can do with what I have. But I think I got something. We'll see. Today, I'm working on repairing these earrings. I made these a long time ago for a collector, and she doesn't like how long they are. They kind of get caught up in her hair. So I'm gonna take this loop off and see what I can do to make them look cute. And then I don't know. I might engrave a little bit. I made this last week. It's gonna hold a piece of Amazonite. I don't know. Kind of like this. It's like a cap. I can't do this with one hand. My tripod is at the house. Okay, let's see. Put it in here for some stability. Bam. That actually worked nice. This side looks amazing. Like, hell yeah. And then this side looks horrible. I just didn't think about my design ahead of time. Oof. Didn't think about my design too well. So my plan is to cut a little piece of silver to go over it, solder it on there. Hopefully it doesn't just frickety frick up all the work I did on this side, and try again, because I actually just don't know what to do. Like, I started to carve out the background of this, and I don't know if I'm gonna actually work on that today though. I'm really tired today, I gotta be honest with you guys. It's day 4 of media deprivation, and it hasn't been that bad. I'm not gonna lie to you, I've clicked on TikTok for 1 minute, my 1 minute time allotments per day, and then I respect it after that. And I don't miss the scrambled egg feeling in my brain. Like, I don't miss that at all. But I do miss seeing some of my favorite creators. Like a Victoria Paris video popped up and I got to watch 1 minute of it. And I just like her. Her life is inspiring. I think she's funny. I think she's really cool. She's someone like I aspire to be like in a way. Like, just that kind of boss energy, but not like boss babe, like contemporary. She does her own thing. She takes charge of her own life, and she seems like she's having a lot of fun. I mean, obviously it's social media. I don't know really anything about her. This is a very parasocial relationship we have, but I like to project myself onto her, you know? I like to project what I want onto her and be inspired by it, like all of us are doing all the time. So yeah, really tired today. Could have really used a little TikTok kind of fuck off time, but instead I knit the heel flap of a sock because I'm knitting. I'm a knitter. I've knit 1 sweater already. I'm working on a second one, and I'm working on my first pair of socks since I was a freshman in college. These are my first pair of socks that will actually fit, so I'm excited about that. But in the meantime, I need to stop procrastinating and just get to freaking work. I think they turned out pretty good. I put them on a smaller hoop, and then I redid the ear wires so that they were a little shorter, and they just kind of fit overall better with the style of the piece. I love the colors. Should I do more beaded, simple pieces like this? Because they're so fun, so easy to make, and they look so good. These colors look amazing. 10 out of 10, now we're done with that. Now we're gonna go engrave something fat. Something nice. Not fat, because it's freaking brass. Brass can't be fat. I painted those, by the way. Don't mind the mess. I painted those. This is what I did yesterday. I engraved the ornamental on this, and I hate it. I think it looks so bad. But when you kind of go like this, you can't tell how bad it looks. If you just look at it really fast and then look away, or if you don't know what you're looking at, then it looks great. Don't critique my ornamental design theory. I'm still learning. Or you can critique it, but I don't give a shit, because I'm literally, this is the first piece I've ever made with spirals on it, an ornamental design in mind. So yeah, it's learning a whole new language to me, basically. This is it all done in the sunlight. I got the swing of things today pretty good. I wasn't really fighting the material or the design too bad. For my first ornamental design engraving, I'd say it's pretty good. I still need to ink it and finish it, but yeah, I'm gonna do the other side too, because why not take advantage of this blank canvas now too. It's gonna be a real interesting piece, I'll say. And here it is all inked, you know, I just push a little oil paint in there and I polish it off with some steel wool, and it looks pretty dang good considering it's my first ornamental design piece I've ever made. I think it's pretty dang good. That's pretty much it for this week. I did not really get any good videos or photos of 70s night. The videos that I did get are of people, and I didn't ask their permission to post them on the internet, so I'm not gonna put them in my video so that I don't violate people's privacy without, asking for consent first. Overall, it was fun. Media deprivation, I failed. I failed. Later during the karaoke night, I ended up doing like a deep internet rabbit hole research dive, just to stay awake because I was so tired, but husband was still performing, so I had to stay awake to watch him. And I was using caramel popcorn and cell phone blue light screen time to stay awake. And then the next day, I was home alone for a little while, left to my own devices, and I caved and I watched TikTok for about an hour. So I'm gonna say that the media deprivation's over, but I'm gonna go over what I learned during this week and how I want to reform my relationship with social media, because I don't think it's all bad. I actually kind of love social media as like an agent of chaos. She's like a little chaos goddess who can bring lots of really beautiful, good things into your world, but also is a chaos goddess. So like you have to be aware. Sorry, I had the window open like just behind this phone, and so there was probably some background noise that I'm not gonna re-film that part because that's where I get caught up, is going back and refilming stuff and then second guessing myself and not remembering what I said, and it gets confusing. So I try and do these in one shot, so it's just like, here you go, and then I'll edit the little bits and pieces out. Anyway, I have a jewelry business, an art business, and I want people to see my finished work and maybe be inspired to purchase it. So having social media is something that is useful for me to run my business, right? But it's not something that's useful for me to do first thing upon waking up in the morning and spending the first few hours of my day looking at my phone. That doesn't really feel good. So in this week, I kind of realized like, okay, I need to have a restructuring of how I have relationship with this media and this time on my phone. So for real, it's no media first thing in the morning for like the first several hours. And then I'll do my posting and consumption of my social media maybe in the afternoon, kind of when I have a natural lull anyway, while I'm drinking my second cup of coffee or my like little juice cocktail thing that I make sometimes. And then after that, getting to work into my studio, no social media in the studio, no social media after about 6 or 7 p.m., like maybe no phone even after 6 or 7 p.m. I'm really liking that kind of time in the evening to like knit my projects or work on my drawing practice, because I have been able to do my drawing practice every single day while not being on social media. And I think that that's a really important thing for me, especially in my engraving practice and developing my engraving skills. Like I have to be drawing. So getting a little bit of practice every single day is helping me develop my skills, and making time for that is really important because I want to be good at what I do. So things like that. It's like, okay, I don't have to get rid of it completely. It's more like I just have to redefine my relationship with these things and understand that in setting boundaries, I'm taking care of myself, and I can still have both things. I can still enjoy TikTok. I can still enjoy the media that I love while also not over consuming and like kind of overdoing it. And another thing is like reading. Like I like reading. I don't think that I read more than I should. Like, did I read the entire Throne of Glass series in 3 months? Yeah. Yeah, I did. I needed that time though. Like sometimes, yeah, reading is like a little bit of an escapist thing for me, but sometimes I really need that rest time because I'm in the process of learning how to slow down and resting and in my soft girl era, so to speak. So spending time doing those little things that I enjoy doing, I think is really important. And then podcasts are something that I like to do while I'm working. So I engrave, I make jewelry, not necessarily when I'm knitting. I like to watch TV when I'm knitting. But little things like that, like I don't think it's that big of a deal for me to listen to a podcast while I engrave. In fact, I really like it. I like to learn and I like to listen to people's life experiences and people's stories while engraving. Sometimes it's inspiring. I do notice sometimes how other people's ideas swirl around in my head, and I think being more mindful of listening to my body when I'm listening to other people speak is valid, and it is important, and has been an important takeaway from this week, is realizing like I've been able to spend most of my time with myself and feeling my own self and feeling my own energy, and not feeling like I need to think and see the world differently just because other people see it that way. I think having our own unique takes and perspectives of the world is like a really important way to have a well-rounded society, truthfully. Like, we all bring little things to the table that are very important and valid, because if you're any one way too much and you're only seeing the world one way and surrounded by people who are seeing the world one way too much, it's an echo chamber, right? It's not really helpful for the evolution of you or society. And no matter what, in a society, there's going to be a lot of different people who have a lot of different views of the world. So you have to like make peace with that and learn how to sit with that and be okay with it, while also standing strong in like your own convictions and what you value. So I think that's important. And those are some of my takeaways from Media Deprivation Week. I will show you guys a journey of week 5. I haven't read The Artist's Way week 5 chapter yet. So far, it is about how we play small, and I think that is going to be a big deal for me, because I've learned that I can find ways to waste time even if I'm not on social media or reading or doing the media deprivation. Like, I'm still going to figure out ways to waste time, because playing small has kept me safe, and being invisible has kept me safe, and I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to do that anymore. So I think this next week is going to be a big deal for me, and I think I'll do it again, like a little daily update, see how it goes. I had a lot of fun making this video. I edited the whole thing before filming this like end video, so it's been interesting to practice sitting back and witnessing myself and observing myself, and kind of realizing that when I'm not taking myself too seriously, it's actually kind of fun, and making these videos could actually be something that's fun and brings value to my life and maybe your life. And yeah, I want to keep doing them. It's something that I've wanted to do for a really long time, so I'm going to keep doing them and keep making them something that's bite-sized and easy to attain, so that I'm not trying to bite off more than I can chew. There's no reason I need to sit down in front of the camera for 45 minutes and talk right now, because I just simply can't edit that. So doing these little daily updates, a couple minute videos at a time, I really like it. It was fun. It was kind of fun to edit it. So trying things in a different way and showing you guys my week and like what I do during the week a little bit was fun. I certainly did more than just pet my cat and engrave and go on a bike ride, but that's what you guys got to see, because I'm still in the process of like remembering to film stuff. So yeah, if you like this video, interact with it, leave a comment, tell me what you liked, tell me what you didn't like, tell me where you are on your creative recovery journey, if you're on one as well. If you're interested in doing The Artist's Way, I can talk about it more. I didn't film the first 3 weeks because I didn't think about it, but we're going to film the next several weeks and see how it goes. It's not something that is easy to recap, because it's something that's very vulnerable. Reconnecting to your creativity and moving the blocks of your creativity is something that's really vulnerable, and maybe not something that's safe to share, because there's that recoiling sometimes that vulnerability can bring and can actually make you regress in your journey. So it's kind of hard to like share your full experience with this process, because it is something that's really vulnerable, but I'll do my best to share, because I think maybe it could help you if you're creatively blocked. It's a really, really valuable book. Highly recommend. It's like $20 at Barnes & Noble, or like $15 on Kindle, like the ebook version. That's what I've been doing it on, is the ebook version, and it's still great. Like, it is valuable, it is affordable, it's accessible. If you have pieces of paper and a pen, you can do the whole thing pretty much. You know, it doesn't require money. It just requires dedication, some discipline, and 12 weeks. And I think if you're ready to do it, you can definitely do it. If you want to see my art, follow me on Instagram at Left-Handed Alchemy. If you want to see anything that I have available to purchase, I create jewelry that is designed to be protective and have protective qualities to it. So everything is designed with the intention to protect, and it's also designed with the intention to find the right people at the right time. So if it resonates with you, it might be for you. Kind of like the idea of you guys picking it out based on feeling and vibe rather than social value. Because at the end of the day, a gold necklace does not make you more socially valuable, but it can make you feel very empowered internally. And that's what I'm trying to help people do, is like feel internally empowered instead of perceived to be more powerful. You know what I'm saying? Like the ways that we show up in society to be perceived a certain way when we don't feel empowered ourselves. We're like projecting this idea of who we want to be, not who we actually are. Yeah. I can talk about authenticity another time because that's like a whole video in and of itself. And yeah, I'm on my own authenticity journey as well. So follow along if you want to be empowered in your authenticity journey. Follow me on TikTok. I don't know if I'm going to post a ton. I post every now and then, Left-Handed Alchemy. And yeah, subscribe. Hopefully we'll be doing this more than twice a year. So, bye. Until next time, bye.